Hello, that was Allegretto, the first movement from Sonata in C, Opus 54, number 5 by James Hook. This was edited by Richard Jones and is the A1 piece of the APRSM Grade 4 Flute Exam pieces from 2022. Taking a look at the start of the piece, we are in 2/4 time, so we have 2 crotchets in a bar. As suggested in the title, and no sharps or flats in the key signature, we are in C major. However, as we are in sonata form, we do modulate to different keys, and in this case we most often go to our dominant key, which is the G major, having 1 F sharp. Both the C major scale and the G major scale are part of your grade 4 syllabus, going 2 octaves. Here is the C major. And the G major scale as well. We have written here the speed is allegretto, so a fairly brisk pace at crotchets equals 96 beats per minute. As there is quite a few semiquaver rhythms in here, if you're not yet comfortable counting 4 semiquavers in a crotchet, or if you're not comfortable counting various quavers and semiquavers in one crotchet, then you can count in quavers. Being in the first movement of a sonata piece, oftentimes we are in sonata form as we are in this piece. A typical sonata form has 3 sections: exposition, development, and recapitulation. Each of these sections will explore certain musical themes called subjects. The exposition is in bar 1 to 36, where we explore 2 subjects here. The first one is in the C major key in bar 1 to 12, where a melody is played twice. Then in the second subject, we are being transposed to a different key, our dominant key, the G major, in bar 18 to 30. Then we end our exposition section with a cordetta, a little coda, a little end, from bar 30 until bar 36. Then we have the development section in bar 37 till bar 60, where the composer starts playing around with the subjects we had in the exposition, hence developing the music by using different musical techniques and variation. Then we are on to the recapitulation section, where we have something from the development section leading us back onto the first subject of the exposition. Now we're only playing the first subject here in bar 61 until bar 77. then we're ending the piece with something very similar to the cantata we had in the exposition, but now we're playing it in the C tonic key instead of the dominant G key. In the first subject of the exposition, we have this melody being played twice. Now the first time we can hear it is in bar 1 to 8. We have a contrasting loud bar 1 to 4 with lots of running notes and semiquavers to a softer quaver section in bar 5 to 8. The rhythm is very simple here, easily countable by quavers. In bar 3 there is a C major scale going down. It is more than double the speed you need for your scale section of the exam, so you do need to practice running your fingers through and tonguing each note at speed. The second time we play this is exactly the same until we get to bar 16, where we have 2 crotchets instead of 4 quavers. And also after that we have a bar rest instead of having the music continue. Now coming in on bar 18 is exactly the same as coming in on bar 22, so I'll cover it here. You'll hear the piano doing 4 semiquaver notes running down and then landing on the G note. We are playing after the G on the D note. So here is demo coming in with the piano. It does come very fast, so do make sure that you are keeping counting, making sure you can get in on time. Comparing to subject 1, the theme in subject 2 is very different to what we have. We've moved on to the dominant key, the G major, as we can see the F sharps and the second inversion G arpeggio. We play this twice again, the first time in forte and then the second time in piano from bar 22. After the second time we play it, we have a descending section in forte in bar 25 to 27. Look out that the last note is tongued and not slurred like the first two. Then in bar 28 we see a syncopated rhythm. So the rhythm is 1 and 2 and. Take care that the syncopation is right after bar 7 and we don't have a rest in the first beat. After that it is just quavers running down on the G scale. The last one we have in the exposition is the codetta, or the little coda, which brings our exposition to a close in bar 30 to 36. The rhythm here could catch you out, so when you first start playing, count in quavers and play a bit slower so you can get the rhythm. So here is the rhythm. We have and 1 and rest and 1 and rest and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So on the flute. In the development section, we're going to take ideas from the first and second subject and then going to change it up using different musical techniques to develop the music. In bar 37 to 44, we have the first subject, but instead of playing in the C key like we did in the exposition, we're now going to play in the G key. We can also see that the ending is different with the repeating G notes. In bar 45 to 46, we have a 2-bar rest, as well as in bar 49 and 50. Coming back in on bar 47 and 51 is the same. The piano is going to do something similar for these two bars. We can hear the piano bass line going down in thirds in crotchets. So after the 4th time you hear the crotchet, we're going to come in with more development. Now this little section is used more as a key change mechanism, going to an A minor in the first 2 bar ratchet, which is the relative minor of the C major, then going to the G major, which is the dominant key of the C major, and then that's going to lead us very nicely back into the C major. So a demo for bar 45 to 54 of the piano. Then more development in bar 55 to 60, where we have more development on the syncopation, dotted rhythms, broken chords, and also mix between the rhythms as well. Now, if you're struggling with the rhythm here, it is very useful to count in quavers, where we have the syncopation in 1 and 2 and. We have dotted quaver rhythms 1 and 2. And then we also have a mix of semiquavers and quavers 1 and 2 and. So if you can't have all of this rhythm in your head while counting in crotchets, then you're very welcome to count in quavers. Onto the recapitulation section, where we are going to essentially recap on what we've done in the exposition, but we're going to bring in ideas that we've developed from the development section. One clear example of that is in bar 61 to 62, where we have the syncopation rhythm, but that leads straight us into the first subject of the development. You can also hear that the second idea of the first subject is now a bit lower, starting on an A instead of a C, and also the rhythm is also slightly different in the middle. The second time you play this, the first idea stays the same, but the second idea is also a bit different in rhythm as well. After that, we come on to the final ending phrase, where it is very similar to the quartet, except that we are playing it with slightly different notes, slightly different rhythm towards the end, a bit slower, not doing any more of the semiquavers, and also ending on the tonic C note. And that's the end of the piece. Well, that was the tutorial of the A1 piece Allegretto, the first movement of Sonata in C, Opus 54, number 5 by James Hook. Now, this is a very solid classical piece. The rhythm isn't too difficult. Most of the notes are tongued, and the dynamics are quite straightforward, as most of them go between forte and piano. Couple things to look out for in here is keeping in time. With the semiquavers running so fast, you do need to bring the whole piece to a comfortable pace, not just slowing down the scales. There are plenty of breathing spaces in this piece, but if you do need one, then try and place one at the start of the phrase. Hopefully that was useful to you. That was the first piece for grade 4, and I'll be uploading the rest of the pieces soon, and I'll have the plays up if you want to have a look at them when they are uploaded. Give a like and subscribe if you like what I did here. Put a comment down below if you want me to go over anything specific, or if you want to share your own tips and tricks with your fellow viewers. And I'll see you on the next video on Master of None. Bye!